Howdy and welcome to the Confidence Through Health podcast. I'm Jerry Snyder. As an elite level athlete, owner of All In Health and Wellness, and author of the book Confidence Through Health, my goal is to help you achieve your goals and dreams using health as the conduit to get there.
I
want to thank the Texas Farm Box for being a new sponsor to the Confidence Through Health podcast. If you want farm fresh food delivered to your door, Texas Farm Box is here for you. We curate boxes from Central Texas and North Texas farms to bring you the best in all of these things. Check this out: produce, beef, chicken, pork, eggs, dairy, and so much more. If you want to eat healthy, support local, and enjoy the convenience of delivery, Texas Farm Box is for you. Think inside the box. Click the link in the show notes or go to texasfarmbox.com to learn more. Howdy and welcome to the Confidence Through Health podcast. It's your host, Jerry Snyder. And in this podcast, I typically, I'm either interviewing people or I'm talking about different things in your health or what to look for to improve your health and how that can benefit you. And that's my goal through this podcast, is to help you become healthier, help you gain confidence by being healthier, and learning some little tips and tricks that are actually working at the cellular level, and not just a fad diet that's going to burn off in a couple of weeks or months and leave you in worse condition than when you started it. But this week, I celebrated a birthday. So I have been on this earth for 48 years. And what I wanted to talk about with that is, have you ever stopped to think about how long you actually want to live? Like, actually think about it. And I know that some of us have that discussion with maybe a financial advisor when we look at retirement, and they might ask us, how long do you want to live, or what do you expect to live, or what's the longevity average for your family members, so that you have the right money saved away or the right plan for your money to get enough to save away so that you'll be able to pay for things in the future. Which, by the way the things are going right now in the world, especially in the US with inflation where it is, who knows how much that's going to need to be in the future. Because right now it seems like it's exponentially increasing the amount that we need just to go to the grocery store. But have you ever thought about where your health is going to be in that time period? The average person lives into their mid-70s, and the average life expectancy is actually dropping slightly over the past few years. And as opposed to, for years, it increased, and it increased, and it increased. And now it's been decreasing a little bit. And part of the reason for that is what we've done with our health. And it was actually starting to decrease before COVID came around, and then it decreased with that. And so that was just really a drop in the bucket compared to what we've actually already been seeing as a trend going on with chronic diseases. And, we're talking about diabetes, we're talking about dementia, we're talking about Alzheimer's, we're talking about heart disease, cholesterol, cancer, all these chronic diseases that really start building themselves in your body at an early age. We're seeing kids that are not just that are obese. We all know that there's a childhood obesity issue, but because of that, there are kids and teenagers that are now on high blood pressure medicine, on anxiety medicine, and they're all related to, what are you doing with your food intake? Are you getting the exercise in that we all know we're supposed to get in? And so when you look at all that, as far as like, this is where I am today, but what does that do for you in the future? And so if you're looking at your finances and you have X amount in the bank and you're making X amount every month or every year or however you want to calculate it, and you have X number of years before you are going to retire, all those things can add up. And then you can go, okay, well, here's my number. This is what I need to maintain the lifestyle that I have now. This is what I think I'm going to need. But with your health, it's a lot more complicated than that. because it is not just a simple formula. It should be, and it could be, but most Americans have gotten to the point where they are today, and they have no idea what their starting point is, because you can't just go to the bank and pull up the number and say, this is how much in my account. Because the damage that's been going on, a lot of doctors out there don't have a clue how to test for it. Or the tests are so expensive because insurance isn't going to pay for it because they think it's speculative. When it's actually the tests that you need to have done that are going to tell you what's going on, what's the root cause of all these things going on in your body. How far does it go back? What are the toxin levels that are in there? What are the true markers that are showing up already, even though you may not have high blood pressure yet, but it's showing that you may get it in 4 or 5 or 10 years. Because what you're doing to your body now, what you've done to your body in the past, is the bank account that is going to pay itself forward in the future. And either you're getting good interest or you're getting bad interest. But you're getting interest. One way or the other. You are compounding on something. You're either compounding on negative things that you've done, poor food choices, not exercising, not sleeping enough to where you can get rid of the stress that's going on in your life. Maybe you're smoking, maybe it's drinking too much. All these things add up. And you may not experience the issue right away. But at some point, there's going to be a trigger. And all of a sudden, it's all going to go downhill, and it's going to go downhill fast. And it's similar to, like, say, a car battery, right? If you have a car, you got a battery in there. Battery's going to start it up. Okay. You turn the key, you push the button, whatever kind of car you got, and it's going to start up because the battery's giving it juice so that it can start up. The thing about the battery is the battery could read that it's got enough juice in it. It's got enough juice in it, and then it's going to hit a day where it doesn't. The battery still has juice in it. It didn't go to zero. It still has voltage in it. It just doesn't have enough to start the car. And so you go to zero. So you go from being able to do everything you want to do, drive around town, go to work, go to the grocery store, go to your kids' ball games, being able to do all those things, to boom, I can't do anything unless I get immediate help. I either need to charge the battery, I need to get a record, get a new battery, I need to go to the store, get a new battery, I need to get to a shop and have somebody change it out for me. Like, there is a step that has to happen before anything else can be done. And it's no longer just go turn the key. And the same thing's going to happen with your body. If you're not doing the things now to take care of it, you're going to hit that point where your body's going to say, nope, no more, I'm done. And that could present itself in a number of different ways. The unfortunate thing is that you can avoid it all. And most of us don't, because we aren't experiencing that pain, discomfort right now in the moment. And so we think, oh, that can happen in the future, but I've got plenty of time to prevent it. Time is your enemy in that instance. Time is your enemy because it gives you the false sense of hope that you have time to fix it, because the time is now. The time is today. Because every time, every minute that goes by that you aren't turning yourself into the positive direction, in compounding things in a positive direction, and taking your health in a good, positive, healthy way, taking your body to where it needs to be. Every minute you're not doing that, it's going in the negative. You're not just sitting still. Because as we've seen with inflation, if you've got money in the bank, if you've got $5,000 in the bank today and you're not doing anything with it, it's just sitting there, and you're not either investing it or, and I'm not saying that's bad because some of us want to have a safety net of some money there, right? But the thing with inflation and why everybody's getting upset and why everybody's sort of ticked off is that $5,000 sitting in the bank that yesterday, or let's say, let's take a time like 6 months ago, that $5,000 may have bought you not maybe a great car, but it could have bought you a car. Say, I don't know, like maybe a 15-year-old car that you'd be able to do things with. Today, after 6 months of this really record high inflation that we've seen, that $5,000 may buy you a car that's 20 years old. You lost 5 years because you didn't do anything with your money. It's the same amount of money, but you lost money, you lost time because you let it sit thinking, I've got time to handle it. I've got time to make it. I've got time to do whatever. So the same thing with your body. It's not just going to magically start getting healthier simply because you got older, simply because you retired, simply because you've got more time on your hands. You have to actually do something. And one of the things that I outlined in my book, Confidence Through Health, is the actual time frame, the timeline of what's going to happen. And I backtrack it from here's the average life expectancy to guess what? The average person right now spends about 2 years, maybe a little bit more than 2 years in a nursing home or assisted facility or in their own home, but homebound before they pass away. So you take the average life expectancy, take 2 years off of that. Okay. Then take some time where you're not really homebound. You're not in a nursing facility. You're still able to do things, but you're stuck with doctor's appointments. You're stuck with a limited amount to move around. I have a family member who's going through this right now that I was within 2 hours of them by driving time. I had flown across the country. I was within 2 hours of them driving time. I didn't have the availability or car or anything. I was using Uber to get to where I needed to be and where I was. And I said, hey, I would love for you to come visit me. I've got like an hour and a half of time where I don't have anything to do. It'd be great if you come visit, but I don't have enough time to get to you because you're 2 hours away. Retired, has money, can go and do this, unable to because their health wouldn't let them travel that much. And so these are the choices that we're making. We think that it's all going to be better in retirement, but these are the choices we're making right now with our health that are going to prevent us from being able to do things when we really want to. And so the timeline, it backs down and basically becomes, if you still have the money to be able to do all these things, if you retire at the suggested age of retirement, which by the way is going up to about 68, it's not 65. It's going to go up pretty soon. And with inflation, it may even go higher than that for some of us. We may need to. But if 68, and then all of these things are going to start happening before you end your life, which the average life expectancy is in the middle 70s, you got 6 years. 7 years of retirement to enjoy, 2 of which are in a nursing home or you're homebound. So now you're looking at 4 or 5 years. And then you've got a time period of that before you go in a nursing facility, which you really can't get around. You're not driving because you really shouldn't be. You're stuck with so many doctor's appointments and things that you can't get out and about. And that's where this individual is that's in my family. He's creeping into his middle 70s, lower to mid 70s. He's right in that time frame. And so when you get there, it's not fun. It's not retirement. It's like if you had your bank account, you've got your number and you get to the age that you want to retire. And I mean, think about all the people that are trying to retire this year and inflation is kicking them in the butt because they thought they had to have X number of dollars. And now those dollars aren't worth maybe but 3/4 of what that is or what we're used to. And so they're like, I can't retire for I got to add 3 or 4 more years. And if you're 65 right now and you want to retire and you can't, and you say, I got to go to 68, but you know your life expectancy is in the middle 70s, you're losing 3 years of your life that you want to enjoy. And so the choice is now not just financial, not just career. The choice is your health. Because if you don't make those choices now and start changing your health to make a positive improvement, the long term is not going to look pretty and you're not going to be happy. And you're going to sit back and you're going to, why did I work so hard to retire and be stuck at home? Or why did I work so hard to retire and then have to get another job? Because I don't have the money to be able to do the things that I want to do because I have to pay for all these medical bills. Because more and more and more, like, people are on medications or on chronic medications, antibiotics, different things, because their body cannot fight to stay alive well enough on its own. And I'm not trying to harp on pharmaceuticals. I'm not trying to harp on medicine. Those are great things in an acute care situation. But we've turned our society into medicine being chronic solution, when the chronic solution is taking care of yourself with nutrition and exercise. And that's how you prevent, cure, treat chronic health issues. So if you're in that situation right now where you're on that fence, you're that battery that's about to hit over and lose just enough voltage to start the car, I beg you to do something. Start taking care of yourself by eating better. And it could be, it's not just making sure that you eat your vegetables, but it's making sure that you're not eating things that are damaging you. Because you can eat healthy things, but if you're eating things that are also damaging you, you're still fighting an uphill battle. And it's an uphill battle. I'm not going to say that it's easy. It's simple from the standpoint of what you need to do. It's simple. Just like getting the money for retirement. The formula is simple. You take what you have now, you figure out where you need to be, and then you add in the amount to get there. But it's not easy. It's not easy to get that money for retirement. It's not easy to make these changes in your health. And I understand that. And so it's a mindset shift. You have to change your mindset from I've got plenty of time to today is the day. And every day is the day. There is no tomorrow. Okay, there is no tomorrow. Because in reality, tomorrow never comes. You live for today. You take care of the body that you've got to this point. You start making changes that are going to be healthier for you, both in the nutrition side of things, the sleep side of things, the stress reduction side of things, like meditation, breathing properly, and then exercise. You mix in all those things. You make that mindset shift. And you become a better person day by day. And if you do that, you're going to get to the time that you need to retire. And you're going to be able to say, now I can actually enjoy my life. As opposed to getting to that point and saying, now I don't have to work anymore, but I got to deal with all these health issues. Because nobody wants to do that. But the majority of Americans are doing that. The majority of the people following a Western society, a Western way of eating, the majority are doing that and living that every day. That when somebody hits retirement, that's what they're living and facing. And I want to change that. So that's the purpose, basically, of the Confidence Through Health podcast, is to try and change that. And so since I hit a birthday, I wanted to bring that to you and say, I'm trying to fight and change each individual person out there. And I know that's too much for me to handle, and it's not going to happen and all that. But whoever's listening, this is for you. I'm trying to help you change your life, to make it healthier, to give you confidence to be able to make these changes. But once you see, as you become healthier, you're going to get even more confidence to be able to do things that you never thought you'd be able to do. Simply because your body's strong, healthy, happy, and willing to be able to make those changes and be able to attempt those things and be able to make these steps and strides in your life that right now seem intimidating. But you can accomplish them. And I fully believe, because I've seen it happen both in my life, but in my clients' lives, in my friends' lives, that trust me and that follow leading a healthy lifestyle. When you look at the rest of their life, it's changed dramatically in a positive direction in all aspects of their lives. And so, as I hit my birthday this week, that's been on my heart, to be able to help people and help you understand why I'm doing what I do. So, if this hit a chord with you, if you liked it, I'd appreciate you sharing it with somebody. Subscribe so that you can hear the future interviews that I've got coming. I've got some great ones in the works. Just got to nail down times to get those in. So, but I think that you're going to enjoy where I'm taking this over my next year. And I appreciate you being here. Thanks for checking out the All in Health and Wellness Confidence Through Health podcast. Our goal is to use health as a conduit to help you reach your goals in life.
A little lighter than me. I'm about to black out. Her grip is getting tighter on me. I think I like it deep inside. I feel the fire in me. She like the milky, see me cream into the coffee in me. She got soul in her sway.